up, YouTube? We have Chou here, who won ARG Vegas this past weekend. And here's his mat. He won it with Bujins.
Yep.
And so just go on with it.
I decided to play Bujins because it has a really strong Fire Fist matchup, because Bear and Tinky aren't very intimidating if you have like a Yamato or Hair Engrave, and Susanoo with Hair Turtle with Grain in hand is like game against any deck, and Kaiser's Coliseum is really powerful against Mermail, so that's why I played it.
Alright.
Pretty standard, 3 Yamato, 2 Mikazuchi. My only Bujin Gs are 2 Turtles and 2 Hairs, and then 3 Grains. I didn't play Centipede because the only cards you usually want to hit are Floodgate cards, and you like DNA, Surgery, Soldier, and Light Mirror, and you can't actually hit those with him, with Centipede. And I didn't play Quillen either because you actually have to like resolve a Yamato and then dump one, and then next turn if your Yamato lives, then you can pop a card. It kind of bit me in the finals though because it would have been an out to Colossal Fighter, but I don't regret not playing it.
Yeah.
And then Honest, like the best card in the deck. And then 2 Effect Dealer. It's just like a Fiendish Chain that can't get Typhoon, so it's pretty good.
I swear, Honest won you so many games.
Yeah, it's a powerful card. And then 3 Tenki, the consistency cards. You have to get to Yamato as fast as you can, or your games are going to be like really, really tough. So that's why you play those. And then 3 Typhoons. You play this card differently in Bujins than you do in normal decks, because you actually, if you summon a Yamato and then someone goes through, you actually hold this in your hand for like Fiendish Chains, game 1, and Light Mirror and stuff like that, games 2 and 3. And then 2 lands just when you go first. And then if you have Yamato, Crane, and they have a Turtle, no, if you have Yamato, Crane in hand and they have a Bear on the field, you can fearlessly summon this and attack, and even if they like Deprison it or Mirror Force, you can just chain lands, and then the Crane will reset it and put it back up to 36. So it's pretty good. And maybe they'll just lance, and maybe you can just, yeah. Then 2 Bujin Carnations, my only target for Bujin Mikazuchi. This is like the best one, and then I don't really want to play the trap either. 2's fine. Usually if you play right, you don't even need 1 most of the time, because they have to clear your board. But if you have it, it lets you play more aggressively with because you usually search this with Mikazuchi when you have Yamato and Mikazuchi on the field, so you can be more aggressive with those 2. Maybe make like a Diamond Die or pop their back row, then activate this.
Yeah.
And then Kaiser Coliseum. It's like a floodgate card for every deck. I only played 2 because you don't like it. You don't really want it if you go first and you go second and you open with like these 3 cards. So I wanted to kind of minimize the draws. And then if you open multiple and they have an answer to your monster, it's dead because you obviously don't control a monster. And then like Dark Hole because this deck has a tough time if they like set up super quick, so Dark Hole helps alleviate if you go second, or even if they just summon a Thunder King, set multiple back row, or summon a Baron, set multiple back row, you can just clear it with Dark Hole and then make your play without fear of getting like really blown out next turn.
And it won you the tournament.
Yeah, and it won me the tournament. I actually had I had 17 cards left in my deck, and I had 2 outs, and then potted Duality into it.
Yeah.
And then so it was 3 out of 17. So I did the math, and it's like, yeah, it was like 30. It was something. I think it might have been less than 17, but I remember the math was 35% that I would hit it. Like one of my either my Honest or my Dark Hole. And then 3 Fiendish Chain. It's actually like kind of surprising when this thing resolves, just because there's 3 Typhoons and everybody's playing Lance too.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool if it resolves, but I guess it helps you simplify the game state, and when you have Yamato and the game state's super simplified, it's like almost impossible to kill.
I saw that all day. It was just like an MST Fiendish battle.
Oh my god, I was like you like expect it to happen almost.
Yeah.
And then for the side deck, for the extra deck, I do not play Abyss Dweller because you want to prioritize making this over it, because if you have Territorial Engrave and Crane, with Crane in hand, it's like unbeatable. And then, yeah, making an Abyss Dweller, because you're always going to make it, unless it's with an Honest, you could be able to make this, and this is much better than Abyss Dweller, like 99% of the time. I did Abyss Dweller once all weekend, so 3 of these guys. I was playing 1, but the second one came up a few times, and since you're playing a rank 4 deck, there's a ton of extra deck space because I don't have a giant hand. So 2 Kakasuchi, Crazy Box. I don't think I summoned this against him in the finals, but I summoned him against in my top 16 because I played 2 Dragon Dragons in top, so it's just pretty good. It's actually easier for them to get over just because they both played Dark Spear and the other level 3 guy, Influence Dragon, so they could just make Leo and run him over, but he's still pretty good. There's like no reason not to run him. And then in my top 8 match, he had a Kagasuchi, and I had a Mikazuchi, and then I protected with a Hair for the turn, and then summoned Honest and made him, and then did negate its effect and ran it over, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Exile Knight, he's not super good games 2 and 3, because most of the time, if they side Light Mirror, that is, because he has a light, but if they side in DNA Survey and other stuff, he's pretty good. And then, obvious. yeah, I like going into him if you resolve your Mikazuchi and Yamato. Like I said earlier, you just diamond down one of their back rows, and then you can Bujin Carnation if they have a monster. And he's good because he just needs 2 level 4 lights, not 2 level 4 Bujins, 2 level 4 Beast Warriors, so you can make him with Honest. And then Cowboy, obvious. Nice stroke. I probably wouldn't summon him very much, but you have room, I guess. And then Omega and Pleiades. Omega and M7, excuse me. You can Bujin Carnation and make this guy, because he's a Beast Warrior. And then with Tenki, he can be like 25 or 26 or even 27 if you have 3, I guess. And then, but most of the time, I just went into him if you need like a really big beat stick. Games 2 and 3, like if you have Light Mirror and then you have no out, you can just like go into him and then make him, and he's 27. And if you draw an out to Light Mirror, he has a super relevant effect. I actually did that in round 7. I might have Bujin Carnation in hand, and then I drew it. I think it was a pretty irrelevant card, and then he had a title on the field because he just black rose my field because he ripped the Typhoon, so he has no cards besides the title. And then I think I actually drew a debunk return, but so pretty much I summoned the Yamato I had in hand. So I Bujin Carnation, make this, put him on top. He is 2,700 bigger than title, and then Yamato attack his set, and then I just debunk his title the next turn.
All right.
And then triple maxi, because this deck is kind of slow, and you want to slow down faster decks. Because if you can get Mermail to play at your pace, you'll beat them just because they're slow. It's a slower deck. Yeah. And then Fire Fist Bear. I side this against a character Givia so that my Tenkis would be like more lethal. Just because you can go Tenki Bear, pop it, and then if you open like Tenki Lance, it's like you're playing Fire Fist. Yeah. It's pretty strong. And then Twister, it's pretty much the same concept as Typhoon. You just hold it, and then you can Twister the cards that'll stop your Yamato in the end phase. But you gotta be careful with it because sometimes they'll Phoenix Chain at first, and then they might have like a Light Mirror or like a Floodgate card. So sometimes I hold this, just try and protect the Yamato, and then like summon an irrelevant Bujin and try and make it exceed because the Yamato's a floater at that point. And then Dust Tornado is good. He's pretty much going like almost every game. And then against Fire Fist I played this. I didn't really put it in if I went first, but if I went second after I won game 1, it's not bad to try and like steal a game with this, I guess. Then 1 black one, just because you have a really strong matchup against Rogue, like Evil Swarm, Heretics, stuff like that. So 1 is fine.
Didn't you hit a Felgrand?
Yeah, I hit a Felgrand in the finals. It was pretty good. It's kind of a tough matchup actually, just because all their big dragons are free, and then Crane is like a -1, so you're just like, so you're pretty much like colluding for damage at that point. Yeah. 2D and surgery. It's cool because you can call Beast Warrior, and then you can negate targeting with. Because all these effects only work if you have a Beast Warrior on the field. Right. But if the surgery's up, you can like protect Turtle with hair and like Crane the Turtle. That's pretty cool. Some cool card interactions.
You can just protect anything.
Yeah. And then 2 memory. I side this against Fire Fist because it's pretty much like a really, really good deep prison. So if they attack, you can memory it. Ideally, this is what you want to happen. They attack with Bear and you memory it, so you take 1,600 damage, but it's effect damage, so they don't search for Tenki. And then in 2 turns, you take their Bear, then you can like attack, and then search a Tenki, and then search your Yamato. Or if you were to have a face-up tank, you can like pop cards. So it's pretty cool. So it's a pretty easy matchup anyways, but I didn't think it was a bad idea to side like 2 pretty decent cards against it. And then 3 debunk. I didn't draw it as much as I would have liked in the finals, or it would have been a lot easier, but it's a good card. I pretty much just side 3 of these, and 3 debunks and 3 maxis against Mermails to slow him down, and then Kaiser, Yamato resolving, puts in work. So, yeah. My only loss of the weekend were to Dalton Mosman. He was playing Fire Fist. Okay. Yeah, he beat me in time, but he would have won the match anyways. And yeah, it was super, super close. Because it's actually a really good matchup for Bujin, but he went first, so that helps a lot. Yeah. And I played against Fire Kings, which just has like a great matchup against any deck that plays Tenki, just because all their guys are like as big as mine and they're floaters. Yeah. And so he won game 2 just with like pretty good card interactions, and then game 2 he's looping his Onslaught and his the Barong, the guy that searched for the spell. So I'm like, oh, he has Rekindling. So I have Warning Phoenix Chain, so I'm saving my Warning the entire game. And then he goes Exciton Knight. So I have to use my Phoenix Chain because I know he has Rekindling. But then he Twisters it, so he Excitons me for like 3 or 4. And then, so including my Solemn Warning. And then next turn he just Rekindlings me. I'm like, alright. Ouch. Yu-Gi-Oh! But, yep, his Relentlessness, but yeah, it's a pretty good deck. I don't know. Actually, the deck is just, it's just a little above average, but it has great synergy with this card, so that's what Kaiser, too strong. That's what I want, so. Yeah. Any shout-outs you want to give? Game Den, store I work at. Quick shout-out. In Utah, and then all my friends in Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. All right, well, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, YouTube. Yep, thanks, Obito. See ya.